My name is Vet and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to do a project that deals with cardboard tubes. And at first glance, my little projects here look like they're toilet paper rolls, but actually I use cardboard tubes that come from plastic wrap or foil or even a paper towel roll. And the reason for that is it's really hard to sanitize toilet paper rolls, so I try not to use them whenever possible. When you are selecting the kind of roll you want to use, you have to look at how thick they are. Some of these will require you to actually use a little miniature saw, but if you use the soft ones, like this one, you can just use scissors. So you will need a pair of scissors. Now before I get started with the project, I want you to take a look at these little characters here. These have been decorated with things from my stash, and I know that you artists out there, or you potential artists out there, you have stuff that you have never thought about using on your art project, but this is the perfect time to use them. I use little pieces of paper, I use markers, I use paint. Every now and then I'll have maybe a piece of ribbon or a button or even a little bling bling on one of these, and you can just decorate them any way that you want. So again, it's unlimited on how you can decorate them. But let's get started. We'll put these little guys over here for now. And again, I start with a roll, a cardboard roll, nice and soft, very pliable. Before I cut it though, I paint it. And I use acrylic paint, and I use a large flat brush. You don't want to use a small brush on this because it would take forever. And then you just paint it. You paint it all the way around. And the color that I'm using came out kind of turquoise. I'm using phthalo green and white. You can mix it together, or you can just double dip in both of them, and then you paint it all the way around. And it doesn't take long. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to actually do that. And when you get to the end, you just stick your fingers in like that. Now you will get paint on your hands. Again, I'm an artist and I don't really care about how messy it gets, so I just kind of clean as I go. So what I usually do, I'm going to put this aside and let that dry for another day. I always have a paper towel or a napkin if I can wipe my hands off. But what I did before I even got started was I used liquid detergent. And what that does, I just squirt a little bit in my hand like this, and then I rub it. And it creates a barrier between me and the paint. So when it's time to wash my hands, I just put my hands under the water and it rinses right off. So that's just an artist tip for later. So after you paint it, voila, the magic of video. I have one that's painted all one color, but you do have a choice of painting more than one color. You can maybe do part of it red, blue, purple, whatever, and then you're going to cut it. The size that I use on these are about 3.5, almost 4 inches. And you can get 3 objects. So you can make one bigger than the other if you want to make like maybe a long alligator maybe. You want to have a longer tube. This would be perfect, but you still have some left over for another project. So I'm going to do a little bit of art math here. And I'm going to say, oh, this is about 3 or 4 inches. And I say art math because I'm just going to eyeball it. See, I have a nice piece that's left over. And then I'm going to trim it, but not too much because I may want to change the shape. Okay, so once that's cut, okay, now I'm going to decide, well, what exactly do I want to make? As you see on this one, I cut out part of it in the shape of 2 U's, upside down U's, I guess, or a W, whichever way you shape it. And there's a piece that's on the inside. Once I cut the shape in front, I just pressed it down. If I wanted to have feet on it, pull that up like that so you can see how this was. I just cut about an inch and a half or maybe an inch all the way around and made little sections so that when my little octopus sits up, I have all these legs. Well, this is more of a octopus on steroids because it's got more than 8 legs. But you kind of get the idea. It can have as many legs because it's not a real creature. It's just from our imagination, and whatever we decide to do is cool. If you wanted to have a part that presses down, like this could be an owl, but can also be a kitty cat. So when you press down the top, I'll put that one right here, one on this side and one on this side, you automatically get ears. And you just press them together, just like so. Then it's ready to decorate. Okay. Nice and easy. I think I'm going to leave those up like that. I kind of like that. Okay. Now again, I said I use my stash, and again, we all have a stash. So here's some things that I have collected. I never really know what I'm going to create detail by detail until I actually pick it up and kind of play with it. And that's when it really gets to be fun. You can see I have some pieces of paper that I have pre-cut from some other projects, or sometimes if I'm just bored, I just want to cut some shapes, then that's what I'll do. But with this one, I have glued the pieces together. And I think this would be some cool little arms to put right here, or wings. Okay. So I think I'm going to use those. We're definitely going to need some eyes. Now the thing about eyes is that you can use googly eyes, or movable eyes is what they're called, or you can cut your own and glue them on. I use a glue stick. You can use liquid glue or tacky glue, but a glue stick I like for this kind of project because it sticks on like right now. If you have glue dots, you can also use those. So now I have that, and I don't know, maybe I'll use these other little folded strips. They're kind of folded accordion like a fan, and they're lightweight, and I know that they'll stick on. So I'll put some glue on the side, press that down, and glue on the other side and press that down. And you can have them in any direction that you like. Again, the sky is the limit. You can use a permanent marker to color in the mouth. Let's see. I think I'm going to make a surprise mouth. So I'm going to just color the inside. And maybe use another one. I don't know how good this red is going to show. Sometimes if you have a dark color underneath, that color will also bleed through. But in this case, I think I'm in pretty good shape. It did not bleed through, so my red is showing. If I was using yellow, it definitely would not show. But it's way, way too dark. I have some little pieces of ribbon here that can also be glued on. You know, girls got to be stylish. So maybe I'll put a little bow up here on the edge. Again, the sky is the limit on how creative you can be. I'm going to show you some other ones that I have done. Put this one, let that one dry. But you can use liquid glue. If you have heavier objects, maybe you have a button like on this one. Had to use a little heavier glue on that one. And even the pom-poms, sometimes they don't stay on, so you have to be careful when you're selecting your object. Make sure that the glue that you use matches. Otherwise, you will not be happy with the results because things are going to fall off. And here's my little reindeer. This one is one of my favorite. I'm going to put these guys over here for a minute. This is a castle. So it doesn't have to be an animal. It can be an object. And you can have the doors open or closed. And here, all I did was use a marker and scissors. And then I cut out the top and press it down just like we did with the other one. But you can have hours and hours of fun just trying to create whichever design that you like. And the good thing about art, you can't make a mistake because you can always just redo it and be even more creative. Again, don't stop in the middle, keep going and be creative. Until next time, this is Vet. I'll see you later. Bye.